Alright guys, I just filmed this entire video with the microphone facing backwards. So, let's do this one more time. Hi everyone, my name is Dana. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a little bit of an introduction video for you, so I do think it's going to be a little bit shorter, but essentially I am going to be coming out with a series on the Enneagram. So for those of you who don't know what the Enneagram is, it is a personality test, and essentially it categorizes you into one of 9 different categories. And I guess simply enough, those categories are literally just numbers. So you are categorized as either a 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And so in terms of what those categories mean, the 1 is called the reformer, the 2 is the helper, the 3 is the achiever, the 4 is the individualist, the 5 is the questioner, the 6 is the loyalist, the 7 is the enthusiast, the 8 is the challenger, and the 9 is the peacemaker. So if you go on different websites, they might have like slightly different names for these types, but that's the general overview. And from what I know, I often look at the Enneagram Institute. That is the title of the different types. So essentially for this series that I'm going to be starting on my channel, I have met up with one friend from each of the different Enneagram types, and we have sat down and kind of had a conversation on what their type looks like, what my type looks like, and what our kind of friendship or our relationship looks like in spite of being those 2 different types. So I think the really cool thing about the Enneagram, generally speaking, is that I feel like it focuses a lot on our like core desires and our core fears and how that kind of drives our motivations in our day-to-day lives. And I feel like from person to person, that can obviously look very different. So I feel like sometimes by reading through our type and what generally, I guess, we are motivated by, I feel like it can be very helpful in like kind of understanding people better, because I feel like it has kind of helped me, I think, to step outside of my own like worldview and to kind of understand maybe what other people are motivated by, or maybe why other people interact, you know, the way that they do. And so I feel like by getting to kind of sit down with a friend of each of these different types, it was kind of insightful just to kind of understand how they view the world and how it differs from me and how we kind of get along despite those different ways that we look at things. That is what I have coming up for you guys. And so once a week on Mondays, I will be releasing a new video with a friend of each of the different types. So we're going to start with a type 9 and work our way down to a type 1. So I'm really looking forward to it. But then I also in this video wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of the type 1. So in all of these videos, we're going to be talking about the relationship of the different types with the type 1, since I am a type 1. So the type 1 is called the reformer. They can often be called the perfectionist as well. So some of the general like strengths, I guess, of a type 1 are that they're very honest, they're very responsible, and they're very like improvement oriented. So I feel like we're always looking for ways that we can improve in ourselves, or that we can improve the world, or that others around us can improve. And then I think some of the kind of trouble spots of a 1 can be that we can get resentful of people who maybe aren't trying to better themselves in the same way that we are. We're not very adaptable, so I like things to have a plan, and I don't really like to deviate from that plan, and I very much fall into that category. And also we can be very critical, so I think it's easy for us to be very critical of ourselves when we're not like meeting those high standards that we've set for ourselves. But I think it's also very easy for us to be critical of others, because I do think that we have a tendency to kind of set a high expectation on others, and when they don't meet it, it's easy to get really critical. I'll just read you a little like short paragraph about the 1 that gives like a general overview of it. So it says, 1s are conscientious and ethical with a strong sense of right and wrong. They are teachers, crusaders, and advocates for change, always striving to improve things, but afraid of making a mistake. They are well organized, orderly, and they try to maintain high standards, but can slip into being critical and perfectionist. They typically have problems with resentment and impatience. At their best, they're wise, discerning, realistic, and noble, and can be morally heroic. Our basic fear is being corrupt or evil or defective even. Our basic desire is to be good and to have integrity and be balanced. And our key motivation is to want to be right and to strive to be higher and improve everything, to be consistent with our ideals and to justify ourselves, and to be beyond criticism. So I would say a lot of those things are true in terms of my like instincts. And I think one thing I do want to say about the Enneagram is I think that when you take the test, I feel like you get this type, and a lot of times I feel like it makes you feel a little bit like vulnerable or like naked, because I feel like it's talking about like all of your shortcomings. But I think that there's a lot to be said about maybe these are the ways that we maybe instinctually react to things, or our kind of like tendencies, but I don't think that that means that you have to fall into those all the time, if that makes sense. So for example, one of the tendencies of a type 1 is to be really critical. Obviously that's not a great personality characteristic, I don't think, and so I feel like one way that we can kind of utilize the Enneagram is to learn from it, right? So we're able to kind of read through these different tendencies and I think be more aware of them and be able to kind of grow in that way, I guess. And so that's kind of why I really love the Enneagram. Again, I feel like I relate a lot to a type 1, and I think it's just like so accurate when I read through it, and I feel like a lot of my friends, when they read through it, it's also really accurate for them. And like I said, I really do think it has given me a lot of insight into how other people view the world, and I think that getting to sit down with all of these different friends and kind of talk through our different perspectives or way of thinking through things was very insightful. So I hope that you guys will enjoy getting to watch these conversations, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this series. On a side note, this is kind of irrelevant, but I filmed this over a period of time, and so it was like before and after I dyed my hair. So there's gonna be some videos where I'm blonde, some videos where I'm brunette. I hope that doesn't throw you off or confuse you or annoy you, but it kind of goes back and forth because I've been filming these for a little bit of time because I had to meet up with all of these friends to get to film them. So I'm sorry about that kind of inconsistency there. I think that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. This is a little bit of a shorter video just because it is more of an introduction, just kind of letting you know what's coming. So like I said, definitely go ahead, take the Enneagram test right now before you watch all the rest of these videos, and let me know which Enneagram type you are down below, please, so I know who's watching. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Go ahead and leave a like on your way out, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.